Hi, in this training, we will cover how to submit weekly payrolls for vendors. In order to access Baltimore County MBE and WBE compliance portal, you will go to baltimorecounty.prismcompliance.com, and then the prerequisite for this training is you go to Need Training section and access the video tutorial using the Let's Go button. This tutorial covers how you can register for the Baltimore County portal as a vendor, and once you are registered, how can you create your user ID and password using this link. After you complete your vendor registration and the user ID password registration, you can go to this URL once again, enter your user ID and password here, and then log into the system. After you log in, you will see the system and the relevant options on your left. The last option is administration, where you will go first, and then you will go to manage users profile. You will see your system account user account here in the first row. You have the option to add new users for your company, but if you don't want to add more users, you can still generate new digital signature for your primary user account. Generating a new digital signature is required in order to submit and certify the payrolls. So you will click on Generate New Digital Signature. You will be asked to answer 3 security questions. I already have answered those questions. So in order to modify my digital signature or generate a digital signature, for security reason, you have to answer your security question. Once you answer your saved security question, you have the option to select one of the avatars from the right of this page and select it as your digital signature. You also have the option to choose and upload a digital signature using Choose File option. Once you select a digital signature either from this list or you upload your digital signature from this option, you will click on Next, and then you will adapt your digital signature. When you click Adapt, the system will send you one email with your digital signature code. You will receive that email on the email address that is associated with your primary user account. Once you receive that digital signature code, you have to save it somewhere safe, because that will be required every time you have to certify the payroll. After you complete your one-time digital signature code generation, you will go back to administration. And this time you will access Manage Employee Profiles. You have to add all of your employees that are part of your payrolls on this screen. The first option is Add Employee. So you will click on Add Employee. On this screen, you will enter first name, last name, gender, ethnicity, address of the employee, and any other relevant information that is available on the screen. The required fields are marked with a red star, so you have to provide that information. And once you complete the entry of all of this information on this page, you will click on Save. After you save your employee, you will see all of your employees that you have saved in this system as a list in this grid. This grid is customizable. So when you go here on the red column header, you can right click, go to columns, and then choose which columns do you want to see or you don't want to see in your grid. Once you finalize your columns, then only those columns will be visible in your grid. The next step after you add the employee is to assign crafts to your employee. In order to assign crafts to the employee, you will find your employee here in the grid, and then in the action column, you will see this small hamburger menu. When you click on this menu, you have the option to assign classification to this employee. So you will click on Assign Classification. Here, you will see the list of your employees. You will select the relevant employee, and then you can search by name of the craft. So let's say I want to assign carpenter to this employee. You can search by name of the craft. And since I have already assigned carpenter to this employee, the background of this craft appears as green. But if some craft is not assigned, the background will be white. Like, I can give you an example, sorry, here. So electrician is not assigned to this employee. In order to assign electrician to this employee, you can click on the relevant craft and make sure you look at the craft level, the type, and the location. And once you select the relevant required craft for this employee, click on Assign. And this assigned craft will appear with a green background. Once the craft is assigned to the employee, you can also unassign a craft if that is not required. So now this craft is again unassigned. In order to report payroll for this employee, you have to assign the required craft to the employee. So I have this employee who is a carpenter. After you add all of your employees, you have the option to add weekly payrolls. In order to add weekly payrolls in the system, you will go to Labor Compliance and you will go to Payroll Management. Here you can either add a payroll manually directly in the system, or you can import payrolls. So let's first look at add payroll directly in the system. You will select the contract name from the drop-down, the name of the vendor, and if you are a subcontractor, you will see the name of the prime contractor in this drop-down. If you are a prime and you're selecting your name, you will not see the report to option here. Next, you will select the week and date for which you are reporting this payroll. So let's say this is September 2. You can enter the payroll number in this text box like this, or you can use the suggest payroll option. If this is a non-performance payroll, you will go and select this option. If you want to report the payroll for this week where employees have worked, you will go to continue to employee information. On this page, you will select the employee from the drop-down, and then you will select the craft for this payroll and the employee. Then you will click on Continue to Pay Info. On this page, you will enter the hourly rates paid to the employee. The base rate, overtime rate, this is just an example, and overtime 2 rate. Normally, overtime rate 1 is used to is the rate for the overtime during the week, and overtime 2 is the rate for overtime over the weekend. And then any fringe benefits paid to the employee. Remember, these are the hourly rates. Once you complete this entry, you will enter the gross pay for the employee, the net pay, check number or pay ID, and then the hours worked by this employee during the week. So this first row is for regular hours, second row is for any overtime during the week, and third row is any overtime during weekdays, weekend. So let's say there are 8 hours every day, and there are 2 hours on Monday and Wednesday that are overtime, and then 3 hours Saturday and Sunday. You can click on calculate project pay. That will give you the project pay. And then you will go and click on continue to deductions. On the deductions screen, you have the option to enter all of the deductions for this payroll. And system will automatically calculate the total deductions and review and confirm. On this last tab, you will see all the information that you have entered on the previous tabs here, and then you can review everything. You have the option to confirm and save the payroll. And on the same page, if you scroll down, you also have the option to add new employee to the same payroll, and you will add the new employee in the same way. And you have the option to add a new payroll by copying over this same payroll for the next week. Now your payroll for this employee is added, and you can look at this payroll by going back to labor compliance, payroll management, and your saved payroll is now saved as a non-certified payroll. So you will go to manage non-certified payroll reports. Here, payroll number 2 that we just added is listed in this grid. So all of your payrolls that are not certified will be listed in the non-certified payrolls list. Again, you can add or remove columns from your grid. There are several columns available. Once you add or remove columns and finalize your grid layout, you can click on Save Grid Layout for future use. In this grid, you can see the payroll number, name of the vendor, any employees. This is a quick view. Payroll end date. If you want to add an employee, you can simply click on here, directly go and add an employee. If this is a non-performance payroll, you will see a yes here. If you want to look at this payroll or modify any information, you can still modify on a non-certified payroll and click on payroll number, scroll down, click on name of the employee, and this will again take you to all of these tabs where you can modify information. And then save on each tab. Once you complete entry of your payroll, you will, in order to certify the payroll, you will go to Manage Non-Certified Payroll Reports, and you will select your payroll and small hamburger menu for this payroll. And here for this payroll, you have the option to certify payroll. When you click Certify Payroll, you will see Statement of Compliance on this page, the name of the project, payroll end date, payroll number, and then you will read the Statement of Compliance, any exemptions if there are any, and then you will click on I acknowledge reviewing the above message and wish to certify this payroll. Now, if this is a final payroll, you will select this, but make sure if it's not a final payroll, then don't check this box. Otherwise, you will not be able to add new payrolls on this contract after you have submitted a final payroll. In order to certify the payroll, you will enter your name, and then your digital signature code. So let me grab my digital signature code from the email. This is the email that you will receive in order to certify your digital signature. After you enter your digital signature code, you will click on Certify this payroll. So now you can see that I entered the wrong name. The name associated with this user account is this. Let's copy it from here just to make sure. And then click on Certify Payroll. So your name should match with what you have associated with your user account. Now my payroll is certified and confirmed. And you can see I don't have that payroll in the non-certified payroll list now. This payroll has moved to the certified payrolls list. Now, if you want to go and look at your certified payrolls, you can either click on this link, this is a shortcut, and make sure you have the right period selected from this dropdown. So either you can access using this link, or you can directly go to labor compliance, payroll management, and list all certified payroll reports. Here you can access the list of all certified payrolls. After your payroll is certified, you don't have the option to modify the payroll. You can only view the certified payroll report. When you click on View Certified Payroll Report, you will be able to access your certified payroll report, and that looks like this. This completes the weekly payroll report submission directly into the system. Now, if you want to import the payroll, you will go to Labor Compliance, Payroll Management, and Import Payroll option. Here, all the steps are listed. So the first step is to download the import payroll template from the system every time you want to import the payroll. So you will click here to download. You will select your project. You will select the payroll end date, enter the payroll number or take a suggestion. And then you also have the option to populate with most recent payroll. Then download. Now you can open the downloaded template. That is an Excel file. Click on Enable Editing. In this template, you will see the first tab is the Process tab, where you don't have to change anything after you download it. You have your contract number, your everything that you have associated with your user account. So you don't have to change anything there. On the Payrolls tab, you will see the payroll number that you have previously entered, and then the action will remain the same. You just want to change the weekend date, the check number, name of the employee. When you click here, you will see that all of the employees from the system that you have added in the system in the employee manager are listed in this drop down. So you will select the name of the employee, the SSN, you can select that, the craft assigned to the employee or the available crafts from the system, craft level, then gross pay, and then you will start entering the other relevant information. So hours worked on day one, overtime day one, and then any other overtime. Same for day two, overtime day two, overtime two day two. So you will enter the hours for the whole week depending on these dates. After you complete entering the hours for the required days during this week, then you will enter the base rate, the overtime rate 1, overtime rate 2, health and welfare, any fringe according to these columns, and some deductions here, federal taxes, all of this information if available. And once you complete entering the information, then you can save this template and upload it back in the system. You can also upload information in this template programmatically if you have a system available where you have all the payrolls and you can export from there and paste here in this template starting from row 4. Please make sure that you don't change anything in row 1, 2, and 3. So your data entry or export from your system, the data entry in this template will start from row 4. For each contract and weekend date, you can use one template. After you save this template, you can go back, save it on your computer, go back to PRiSM, and then in step 2, step 3, you can upload the saved file. So you will choose and then select your file from your computer and upload it. In step 4, you will click on Go, and this will import your payroll in the system. Let's say there was an issue with your import file, then you will receive a log file and how your payroll is loaded on this screen as well. If your payroll is successfully uploaded, then you will see that payroll either from clicking on View Your Imported Payroll, or again, you can go to Labor Compliance, go to Payroll Management, access Manage Non-Certified Payroll Reports, and you will see your uploaded or imported payrolls on the Manage Non-Certified Payrolls list. Once you see those payrolls here, then in the system, you have to certify the payrolls one by one. Again, using the small hamburger menu under the action column. And that will complete your payroll submission and certification. Thank you.